You spoke earlier about nation building, how we have not begun. And the question is that nation building is actually a product of conscious statecraft. And if we have not begun, what are we actually doing? What is at the heart of we not being able to achieve a nation building? And what are the indices that actually describe nation building?
Well, thank you very much. By the way, I hope 200 million is what TVC will commit to the building of the center. We propose the center. Yeah, so I mean that I just take it that's your minimum contribution from TVC. So I'll tick that box. We're actually trying to raise about 2 billion. We're trying to raise a 2 billion naira project, because the center is going to be a state-of-the-art center. And as I said, we want to be able to compete with the best anywhere in the world. I repeat, that as I'm talking to you, a classmate of mine has just become the Prime Minister of Singapore. So Nigeria is not where it ought to be. I have my own, as far as I'm concerned, we have to reposition ourselves to do great things. What we have experienced in the last few years, whether we like it or not, what we are seeing now is whether the old and tired men and women, especially the club I'm getting into now, we're either going to get out of the way or we will be cleared out of the way. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And that may not necessarily be physical. We are seeing the energy of young people who want to take back their country. They are angry, they are frustrated. They know what young people are doing elsewhere in the world. So we cannot look, Political Science 101, gerontocracy is one of the obstacles to development of democracy. So the idea that, we're not taking very seriously the need to fast track, our development is not acceptable, because it is the reason why we are in this situation of stagnation. So to answer your question, look, as I said, luckily for me, I have a database of, and even in your station, why do you guys do such a great job? Whether it's RIS, TBC, channels, AIT, all the one. How do you find these incredibly brilliant people who come every morning, day in and day out, and offer some fantastic ideas? Power is about being able to aggregate those kind of people and interests. You don't know everything. And indeed, the more illiterate and incompetent a leader is, the more he feels secure by protecting himself, by with the people who look like him, who talk like him, who pray like him, and so on and so forth. This is the tragedy that afflicts Nigeria, because every country's greatness is measured by its ability, its capacity to identify talent. Up till 20 years ago, how many black people did you see playing football, in many clubs in Europe? So much has changed. So, when we face the nature of the choices we make and our willingness and ability to diversify and function more on brain power, okay? I'm not saying brain or intelligence is everything, but you need, political science, if you're functioning at a level of science, you're daily thinking through what is it that will excite people, whether they're in the Southwest, whether they're in the Southeast. What is it that will generate so much excitement for you as a Nigerian? Why has patriotism gone out of the window? So really, for me, I'm saying, look, I've met some of the best, our military, our men in foreign affairs, men and women in foreign affairs. These are where we've had some of the most brilliant people in Nigeria. Where are they today? Most people have gone and claiming to be farming. We are burying libraries every day. And the greatness of a nation, in Oxford, when you go for the African Studies program, the African Studies seminar, you will find old colonial officers, some of them are dead now. You're going to find men and women at seminars, and they're at the age of 80, 90, they're still coming. And when they open their mouth to speak, when you have people who have been permanent secretaries, who have been presidents, luckily for me, I've spoken to some of these people at close quarters. You hear their agony and their pain. But because our big men are not, fond of writing autobiographies, the result is that the histories, the experiences, the trials of great men and great women who have served this country, from where we can draw extensive lessons, all those are literally down the drain. So my interest is to argue that the more we return to this whole consensual conversation about ideas, about debate and contestation, the better it is for our country. And we need think tanks in Africa, because it is not political parties that run government. if you are focusing on the elected people, the political parties have been turned into a small tribe, where party chairmen preside like the traditional rulers of the communities. And that all these parties have turned themselves, if our party wins election, then we become the tribe of privilege, irrespective of what happens to the rest of the country. Now, the argument is that we can create a space where legislators have an idea about what legislation is all about. And I mean, there are people in the National Assembly who cannot read or write. That's the truth of the matter. In 1999, when people came into the National Assembly, one of the greatest scandals was over the issue of certificates. Yeah. I don't need to take you through that story. But even that soul struggle, I remember a man from, I don't know whether it was Kano, and he made a legitimate point, say, look, I don't speak English, but I know my capacity. Where is a place for me? So I'm saying we need a platform where we can aggregate the knowledge of our people so that those coming behind us can also learn. And for me, there is no substitute to this, that we are running a political party in a country like Nigeria, and there are no ideology. Even I think tanks can be ideological. If a Democrat comes to power in the United States of America, there is a hemorrhage in Harvard, because that's where the liberals are. If it's a Republican, there's a certain level of hemorrhage in Yale, another prestigious right-wing think tanks, environments, where people go to Washington to offer their brains and their ideas. So there is nothing wrong. When President Reagan became president, he said, I don't know anything about economics. Somebody volunteered to put him through. So the fact that you are holding office doesn't mean that you are the most knowledgeable. But by God's sake, if you are holding this position, find those who can help you find the answers. And this is why I have hope in this political dispensation, that by the grace of God, if we're able to have free, fair, and credible elections, whoever emerges as president, I see in the antecedents evidence that people can begin to think about education, about knowledge, and about how to manage diversity.